Hi, this is Vishal Nadapra, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Dr. Subhas Technical Campus, Junagadh. Welcomes you in the lecture series of fluid mechanics in the first chapter, Introduction. In a previous, a change in volume under the action of external pressure is a compressibility. As the pressure increases, the compressibility will decreases. The reason behind this is when you compress the liquid, when you compress the fluid, the molecules come closer more than the earlier, and it have a high tendency to resist the compression. So the compressibility will increases as the pressure will increases, and the volume modulus increases with the increase of pressure. The water is considered to be an incompressible fluid, but in some cases, like water hammer, where the compressibility of the water is considered uh, and cannot be neglected. Here, the bulk modulus of elasticity. Uh, Bulk modulus of elasticity, it is defined as the ratio of compressive stress to the volumetric strain. So, for understanding purpose, let's consider the assembly of piston cylinder. This is the one cylinder, and this is the piston. This is the initial position, say position number 1. Here there are some volume. Let's consider this is the volume is initial volume is V and initial pressure is P. Now if you apply the forces on this piston and piston comes to the final position, say position number 2, at that time volume will decreases by dV, then it will become V minus dV. It is the final volume, and the pressure is rise in the pressure, say dP. So when you take the ratio of this rise in pressure to the volumetric strain, it will called as a bulk modulus of elasticity. It is the measure of elastic property of the fluid. Then according to the definition, K, which is the bulk modulus of velocity, this is the dP, which is increase in pressure divided by dV minus V. Here negative sign indicates as the pressure increases, the volume will decreases. So the negative sign will enter here. And after we get the equation of compressibility, K equal to minus dP by dV into V. Here in the graph you can say you can see the slope of the graph, which is stress versus volumetric strain. So this graph is dy, say dP by dV by V. If we see the property of this bulk modulus of elasticity, it increases with the increase in pressure. It affected by the temperature too. As we have discussed, as the fluid get compressed, the fluid molecules come closer than the earlier, and it have a very high tendency to resist the pressure, and so the bulk modulus of elasticity will increases with increase in the pressure. But if we think about the temperature, then it affects on with the temperature too. In liquid, it decreases with the increases in temperature, whereas in gaseous form, it increases with the increases in temperature. Here, the two factual data are given at NTP, normal temperature and pressure. Say, bulk modulus of elasticity for water, which is 2.07 times 10 raised to 6 kilonewton per meter square, and for the air, it is 101.3 kilonewton per meter square. Then we talk about the another property of the liquid, which is the vapor pressure. Here the definition is given, it is the pressure of liquid at which it is converted into the vapor. But let's understand the vapor pressure with some example. Let's consider this is an open cylinder, and in the open cylinder up to this level, this all are the fluid. Let's consider the standard fluid as a water. So this is the free surface of water, and the liquid, all the liquid have a tendency that the molecules from the top surface always ejected itself from the surface into the air when it comes into contact with air. And this tendency is responsible to generate a vapor pressure. How? Now let us assume if we close this cylinder from the top, then the escaped molecules which is in gaseous form will gather here in the gaseous form. And as the escaping or the ejecting of the molecule from the free surface is continuous, there exists some pressure which is nothing but the partial pressure of this molecule here, and it will exert a pressure on this liquid surface, which is called a partial pressure of water vapor, which is equal to P, which is called as a PV. But as this process is continuous and the gathered molecule are such that and after some level, this molecule again re-enter into the surface. Say this surface or this space are satisfied, so it cannot accept more molecules, and the extra molecules will enter into the re-enter into the free surface. So at that time, the pressure exerted on this liquid, it is called as a saturated vapor pressure, PVS. So this is the two pressure, vapor pressure and partial pressure of water vapor, say vapor pressure, and this is the saturated vapor pressure. Now what is the cavitation? To understanding the cavitation, we must require the knowledge of vapor pressure. It is the phenomena which occur many times in any hydraulic machines, where the pressure of liquid becomes equal to or less than the vapor pressure. Then the evaporation will start at normal temperature and pressure, and the bubble will generated, and that generated bubble gathered and travel to the surface of fluid under which the travel to the boundary or the boundary of the surface of the pipe in which the fluid is flowing, and it gathers onto the surface, and as the bubble collapses to this near the surface, to fulfill this cavity, nearby fluid rush to this cavity, and this effect called as a hammering effect on the surface, and this is called create a cavity, and this phenomena is called as a cavitation. So in technical terms, it is the phenomena of formation of vapor bubble of flowing liquid in a region where the pressure of the liquid falls below the vapor pressure or equal to the pressure, and sudden collapsing of this vapor bubble in a region of higher pressure causes pitting action, or also called as a hammering action on the surface, resulting in the cavity. And so this is called the cavitation. Cavitation never be acceptable property for any hydraulic machine. In hydraulic turbine or in pumps, cavitation may create a very hazardous problem. So this is not a good phenomena, and during design of any hydraulic machine, we must take care about the cavitation. So this is the property of fluid, last property of the fluid. And then we will see the another property, say thermodynamic property. Thermodynamic property comes into the picture when the liquid undergoes a change of temperature, or it influenced by the change of temperature. So characteristic equation of state will be utilized for the calculation purpose. So it is the PV equal to MRT. Here P is the absolute pressure in Newton per meter square, V is the absolute volume in meter cube, and M is the mass in kg, R is the characteristic gas constant, in unit is Newton into meter per kg Kelvin, and T is in Kelvin. So this is the PV equal to MRT characteristic equation of a state for perfect gas. If we derive in another form, then we have to consider the another unit, kilogram mole, which may be defined as the quantity of a gas equivalent to m kg of a gas, where m is the molecular weight. If we understand, then the molecular weight of oxygen, say, we know the molecular weight of oxygen is 32. So, for 1 kilogram mole of oxygen is equivalent to a 32 kg mole. So, as per the definition of the m kg of gas, m is equal to m into n, where n is the number of moles. And if we put this value in the PV equal to MRT, then we get the equation MR equal to PV by NT. So this is the equation after considering the another unit, kilogram mole. We get this equation. After considering this, let's consider the Avogadro's hypothesis. It says that the volume of a 1 mole of any gas is the same as the volume of 1 mole of any other gas when the gases are at same temperature and pressure. So if we think about the previous equation, which is equal to MR equal to PV by NT, it says a volume of a 1 mole. 1 mole, say N equal to 1. N equal to 1 mole, and V is the volume at the same pressure and temperature is the same. So ultimately we can say in this equation, right hand side of this equation, which is PV by NT, is constant. So we can write this equation, or MR equal to R0, which is a universal gas constant. So MR equal to R0, where R is the characteristic gas constant, M is the molecular weight, and R0 is universal gas constant. So by putting this value, we get the relation R equal to R0 by M. If we want to calculate the value of R, which is most important, then we have to consider the experimental data, which says that volume of a 1 mole of any perfect gas at 1 bar absolute pressure and 0 degree Celsius is approximately 22.71 meter cube. This is the experimental data. So just take this data for the calculation purpose and put this value of all the value in this equation. Then we get R0 equal to P size pressure. Pressure is 1 bar, so 1 into 10 raised to 5 for converting into converting into Pascal. Then V volume is output from the experiment, which is 22.71 divided by N is the number of mole, which is equal to 1, and T at temperature 0 degrees Celsius, so this is 273.15 Kelvin. After calculating this, we get the value of RO, which is equal to 8314.3 Newton into meter per mole Kelvin. This is the universal gas constant. So by this way, we can calculate the value of R0, say universal gas constant. And by knowing this value of this R0, we can calculate the value of R for any gas, say characteristic gas constant for air, for any other gas, for any oxygen, for nitrogen, for any gas, we can calculate the value of R, which is R0 by M. So by knowing molecular weight, we can calculate the characteristic gas constant, provided that the value of R0 is known. So in further progress, we will see the value of R, which is R0 by M. Here, if the value of R is known and the specific weight of any gas can be computed at any temperature that we have seen earlier. And the density can be changed by changing the temperature or pressure, that is changing parameter or the process parameter. Now let's consider 3 different processes and governing equation for these processes. So first let's consider the constant pressure process, say isobaric process, the process in which between state 1 to state 2 pressure will remain same. So the governing equation will be a V by T. V is the specific volume divided by absolute temperature, which is equal to constant according to the Charles law. And thus V by T equal to 1 by rho T equal to constant. Here rho we will consider because when we are thinking about the liquid, we have to consider the state or gas or the gaseous state. So in most of the cases, water we have considered incompressible, but gas is very much influenced by a change in pressure. So everywhere or every time we will consider the rho with considering the temperature. So this is the governing equation for the constant pressure or isobaric process. Now we will see for the second process, which is the constant temperature, say isothermal process, which is equal to, for that the governing equation PV equal to constant, which is by the Boyle's law. And thus the PV equal to P by rho. V is nothing but the 1 upon, density equal to 1 upon specific volume. So by this relation we can derive this equation, and we get the equation P by rho equal to constant for isothermal process in the for calculation purpose. And for adiabatic process, or third and last process, PV raised to gamma equal to constant, where gamma is the ratio of two specific heat, to the ratio of specific heat at constant pressure to the specific heat at constant volume.